Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to review the Nidecker Area. This board is available in 148, 153, 157, and 161. This board features directional camber, so the big thing to note about that is it's camber underfoot into a long flat section and then the up kick in the nose. Realistically, that flat section acts more like a rocker, so when you weight the board, it lifts up a little bit easier. Same thing can be said about the tail, but this is a very directional board, so there isn't as much uplift in the tail as there is in the nose. I rode this board at Copper Mountain right after a 2-foot dump had come through. It was a little bit of a mix of blue skies and clouds. There was fresh snow all over. Some stuff was a little rutted out, some stuff was perfectly groomed, and I rode it with my K2 Indies and my K2 Thraxis boots. Basically, I went out to haul ass, pop off some side hits, slash some snow, and rip some groomers. Alright, you can look right at this board and see that it's directional as fuck. Alright, so you got a longer nose, shorter tail. That means directional flex. Softer nose, stiffening up through the midsection, and then you would think that it would have a stiffer tail, but it doesn't. It actually gets softer in the tail. It's not as soft as the nose, but it's still softer than that midsection. So this midsection is just stiffer than the rest of the board. There's a fair amount of torsional flex, but not an overly aggressive amount that will cause you to oversteer it. So the big thing to note with this is that stiffer section right underfoot where the bindings are gives a lot of stability. I mean, you will not feel anything resonating back from the nose into that front foot at all. That midsection is super smooth, super stable, super damp, yet the tip is very lively. So you will notice chatter, but none of that is gonna resonate back underfoot. That's the beauty of this board. Now some of you are saying, Avran, are you gonna flex it? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna flex this thing. Just, While this board does have camber underfoot, it's not an aggressive camber. You do not feel that load pushing back up against you. It's very easy to engage, and it's very easy to just quickly set up and snap with. Cat track gaps, speed bumps, rollers, side hits, you're golden. You can just load up and pop with this thing with ease. All right, let's talk about butterability. You see this up kick right here and how abrupt that is coupled with that shape. This is the perfect platform for buttering and pow. You can really leverage your weight out over that nose and it will just butter. Now, when you go on firm snow, that's a different story. That abrupt upkick will cause you to wash out because you don't have that snow to just sort of flex into as it's pushing out. You're on a hard surface. It just wants to overflex. I found myself just hooking, catching, sliding out anytime I did it on firm snow. But fresh snow? Amazing. This board is touted as a more forgiving, flexing, entry, mid-level carving board. You know, since we're in this big carving revolution, everyone wants to carve. It's one of those boards to turn people onto, but don't let the marketing spiel behind this turn you off. Like, I know some people are probably gonna look at this and be like, oh, it's just for people learning how to carve. No, this thing fucking rips. The side cut is super dialed on this board. You can set it on edge and forget it and really push into it. The beautiful thing about this board is that it's camber and that it's stiffer underfoot. So when you're really driving this board through the center, you don't have to worry about it overflexing or washing out. It locks in on edge and it does it well, and you can just lay trenches with it. Tight, quick setup turn, go for it. This board's very well rounded for going out and just turning. So who's this board for? It's definitely for someone that wants to go out and carve, but also wants to chase pow. It's one of those boards for people that they know they're gonna be on a groomer some days, and they know other days they might be in the trees or a wide open bowl. It's kind of the best of both worlds in that it's not for someone that's gonna be freestyling, but who cares? There's plenty of other twin tips for that. So when I was looking at this board, I wasn't sure what I was gonna get with it. I mean, it's got that abrupt kick shape. You can see the camber in it, and you realize it's camber dominant, and they're marketing it as like someone that wants to get into carving. So was I gonna overpower it? Was I gonna underpower it? How is it gonna do in powder? Honestly, for the price, this thing's pretty damn solid. You really don't have to worry about it. It carves well, it rides POW well. It's a board that I would never hesitate to just grab if I knew I was gonna go ride POW in the morning and groomers in the afternoon. It's solid. Actually really impressed with it. So what boards would be comparable to the area from Nidecker? Well, right off the bat, I think of the United Shapes Explorer. That board matches up fairly well to this. The Jones Mind Expander would be another one that I would consider for this. And the Rome Blur. I mean, I think those are 3 boards that are very comparable to this deck. This has been my review of the Nidecker area. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation and see what's going on. Is this something you're considering? I don't know. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click that bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the great content we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you'd really like to support us, check out Angry Snowboarder VIP. It's a great way to support us so we can make more content that you know and love. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.